Yo, how's it going? Alrighty. The idea is to. Alright. Let's talk about the idea. The idea is this: map 3D camera to 2D canvas space that's projecting the 3D camera image. Maybe create box collider in 2D space at that position. Right. So I don't know if it's going to work in the direction of constantly checking. So let me just to make this more to make this easier to explain. I have 3D space here, and I kind of touched on this at the end of the last game development stream that I did, which was I have this guy floating in 3D space, and then there's a 3D camera that ends up seeing this and then takes a picture of what it's seeing and puts it in 2D space. So where this guy is at 2D space is not really where this guy is because he's somewhere else in 3D. So what's supposed to happen is a 2D, and unless eventually we just make the resulting missile be in 3D space, I'm not sure, but anyway, so the missile spawns in 2D space and it's moving toward where this guy is in 3D space. At least that's where it's supposed to move. All right. That's the idea. So I guess so I can make this 3D space guy. Why is he still here? That's weird. I guess because... Is it because of this? Yeah. Anyway. So when this guy gets created in 3D space, he should maybe create a 2D transform. And that can be what the missile ends up targeting. Right, so this is his tag, and that's what the missile looks for. Right, let's see, just a quick example. So I'm going to go over here and reprogram this missile by playing this little mini game. And then the missile shoots off screen and then comes back in the background and is supposed to go straight after him. Except it's not. It kind of is. It's going to the 3D point where he is in 3D, because this is where it looks like it's going to the correct 2D position, but it's just because they're kind of overlapping a little. Like if you see, this is actually the bottom, the feet of the guy in 3D space, which is the position that it's actually mapping to. So I have to just find a way to map that back into 2D space. So I think when the 3D guy gets created, he's just going to create somewhere in 2D space a transform that the missile can then target, and also give that transform maybe a box collider, and the missile can just collide with it as well. Something along those lines. Okay, let's go. Busy man. So we'll say that he is... Create a new script. Create 2D shadow. I don't know, what do you call that thing? Create 2D instance, a destructible 2D representation, something like that. But it's like invisible. 2D, I'll call it destructible. Yeah. Why does it just say script and not the actual name of the script? There it is. Okay. Let's move this over to the folder it's supposed to be in. I don't really know where it's going to be. I guess in game. Sure. This would mean that the object should be 3D. So let's say Lake, just check that we're 3D. So if layer, game object, layer, does not equal specific layer mask. Sorting, isn't there like a layer 2? Layer, no, nothing with layers. Layer, no. Okay, object dot layer. There's like a way to get the layers value, right? Or no, can I just use a name? I mean, it says it's an int. Because that's how I'm getting, that's how the camera's seeing it. How do I compare layer? Let's see, layer, terrain layer utility. Layer. Game object dot layer. Maybe they have a layer mask dot name to layer. There it is. Name to layer. All right. Oh, 3D layer. That looks so weird. 3D layer equals layer mask name to layer. This is named 3D effects or something like that. 3D space effects. So if it doesn't equal that, just yell at us. Create 2D destructible should only include 3D objects. Maybe that to set the layer to 3D effects. Okay. And then we're going to make a transform. This will be our, what says destruct? Yeah, we use destructible. 2D destructible. So create a game object in some position where we're supposed to be in 2D space. Let's think about this. We know what the camera's image, what the texture is going to be, the output texture of the camera. And then that's just scaled to the size of the screen. So this should be easy. I just have to know where this object is going to end up in the texture first, after the camera sees it. Let's see here. So here's the render texture. It's 13 by 7. Is it actually 13 by 7, or is it something else? Where did I put that stuff? This is not a, oh, it's just all part of the level. Well, okay, it's not 13 by 7, 12.8 by 7.2, so it's exactly the same unit size. If I take this guy, okay, let me disable this thing for now. And then I want to actually place this guy in the scene. Right, where is he? Okay. He's nowhere to be seen. Where's the 3D camera? Here. Right, of course, he's invisible. Let's move him into the screen. And there he is down there. We'll go back and forth. So now I should be able to take this guy, and if I move him closer, that's when we have to take this into account. If he's closer, then he's going to be in a different position in the render texture. So this is almost like a camera, like a world space to camera space. Pretty much. There's just a size of the camera. It doesn't have an actual size, it just has a field of view. Right, so let's see what that might look like. Let's grab the 3D camera, which I could get with, I can at least find it for now. Maybe I can also tag it. I don't know if that's any faster than just GameObject.find, but camera cam 3D is GameObject.find. I think it's just 3D camera, 3D camera. Okay. Now, see if it has something. Field of view, screen point array. Through a screen point. That doesn't do anything. Calculate frustum corners at a specific z. The viewport. Okay, maybe that's a thing. Here's the camera to world matrix. I basically want the inverse of that, I think. Right. Inverse. And is that how they did it? Is that the type? Matrix, this is matrix 4x4? Well, it's a CAM matrix. Is that, so I've got a CAM position of multiply point 3 by 4. Transform position by this matrix fast. Generic. What is 3 by 4? Multiply vector. What's the difference there? Transforms a direction by this matrix. Oh, so it assumes it's like a maybe it assumes it's like a unit length or something. M00. Is it the identity? 3 by 4. No, I guess I'll do multiply vector. That'll just be my position. And let's see what I get there. I guess I just need an extra line, or CAM position. Something like that. Okay. Why do I keep putting that? Let's see what I got. 6.49 and 3.07. And then on the z-axis is 8. Hmm. 6.4, 3.6. That's the camera's position. 6.49, 3.07, negative 8.49. So that, all that did was give me my position. So I multiply my position by the world to camera matrix, which Is the world to camera matrix really just the inverse of the camera to world matrix? It might not be. My initial assumption is that they are identical. Let's see, world to camera. Camera.world to camera matrix. Okay, I'll just do that instead. Because it has it. Okay, let's see if that's, it's gotta be something better. Okay, what do we got? 6.49, 3.07. It's exactly the same. Uh, 100, negative 6.4, 010, negative 3.6. That's just where the camera is. Is that correct? Oh, I guess that's world to camera, world to screen point, or viewport point. Okay. Let's try it differently. I'll leave this here for now. And position is camp3d dot world to screen point. Taking my position. Okay. Also, compile, rerun. What is that all about? Okay. 339. So that's literally where I am in the screen, like on the monitor. 125 and 1.9 on the Z of the screen. I guess this should spit out a V2. Maybe that's right. Okay. Let's see if it actually, it does spit out a vector 3 for some reason. How's a screen point 3D? World to viewport point. I'll try that. I'm not going to use the debugger this time. .5, 0.26. That's pretty much what I was looking for. Okay. So he's at 0.53, which looks about right, because his actual position is 6.49, which is just past the halfway point of the screen. Gonna have to go on a quick break. Got coffee. Had to take a phone call. I'm back. Alright, where were we? So that's where we are. Screen position wise. So now I think if we just multiply that out over the coordinates, over the world size, then it should be accurate. 0.26, right? So like that seems right. 3.07 out of 720. Right, 3.07 out of 7.2. That should be the height because the reference resolution is 1280 by 720. So that should be 0.42. So the Y seems a bit off unless it's I'll think about that one. The X position seems right. 6.49 divided by 12.8. 0.507. So it's not 0.53. Dave Whitsands, what's going on, dude? Yeah, no video games right now. Just some game dev. I'll be back playing Final Fantasy VII later today. My current mission is to map out 3D space coordinates to 2D space coordinates in the game world. So let's see here. Not only that, I'm going to have to get the sizing correctly. So I mean, it should just map to Y, for the reason that I have this 3D model, and I want this 3D model in 2D space. Right, so I have a camera that's looking at the 3D model, and then what the camera sees is just an image projected back into the 2D scene. Right, so the 3D guy is actually invisible. What you see is the 2D projection right here of this 3D guy. So I need to know where this is in 2D space, because in 3D space he's way over here, and that's not helpful. So I gotta map this into the camera's image and figure out exactly where that is. So right now, world to viewport point doesn't seem like it's giving me the correct position, because if his position is supposedly, there he is, 6.49. Oh, but where is that in 3D, right? That's also relative to the camera, the 3D camera is at 6.4, 3.6. Okay. And he's at 6.49. And apparently that maps to 0.53. But it's not. Right? Like I just did 6.49 into the entire width is 12.8 because it's 1280. That should be 0.507 or 0.51 maybe if it rounds it in the logs, but it's 0.53. And also the Y positioning is off too, right? So he's at 3.07, but apparently it's getting mapped to viewport point 0.26, but this out of 7.2 is 0.42, and that's even more off, so. So world to viewport point doesn't seem to be correct. I don't know what the viewport ends up being. Because if this is supposed to be like, what is his position based off of? So I think it's positioning him based on his feet, based on his foot. Like if I add a, what is this thing? Oh, that's just an audio file, sound effect. If I just make an empty game object and I move it to his position, where did I put him? Just in the middle? 6.49, 3.07, 3.49, 3.07. And what's his Z? Same Z position. Negative 8.49. Right? Yeah. Right, okay, so yeah, that's right at his feet. I can't see his feet because of the backgrounds. Let's kill the backgrounds for a second. Right. So actually where he is on screen could be correct. This point, even though it's in 3D space, it's 3 point something. So maybe I'm like, maybe that math doesn't even make sense. Right, of course that math doesn't make any sense because that's his 3D position. Why am I even attempting to use that? Doesn't make any sense. So where he actually is, 0.53 times, let's say, the 1280 would be at 6.678.4. Is that where that is roughly? Right, if I take, which would be like 6.7 in game units. So if I put something in 2D, like take the player ship or something, and just move it to 6.7, that's really close to where he is. And then, what was the other one? 0.26. Oh, calculator. 0.26 times 7.2, 1.872. Let's put the ship there. 872, and that's right there at his feet. So that's actually the correct position. So that's all I got to do is multiply that out by the world size. So this is actually viewport position. And I'm glad that's in whole units from like 0 to 1. And then, so then my actual game world position 2D is viewport position times world size, right? And then I'll have my game world position. So I guess I can make that more generic. Let me be able to grab my 3D camera whenever I want instead of finding it all the time. So camera 3D, let me create the script in the right place. game camera should be in here, right? Yep. So let's do game camera 3D. And we really just want to be able to, right now, just I don't really care much about it other than maybe grab the camera, grab the cam from it. Private game camera 3D. Instance, static, and then cam 3D get. Instance. Actually, I can just do that here. Do that. That seems reasonable. And do the two-step, do the robot. You're gonna have to ask Julio to do the animation work, man. I'm not coding that in right now. Although this guy's not what the final product is gonna be. This is just a placeholder 3D model that we've used in a ton of little games, like when we've done like mini game jams and stuff, and we need like a dude. We just grabbed this guy. Julio made this guy like years ago, and we just keep reusing him for everything. He's kind of become he's just become a thing. He does have a couple of animations, but okay, so I can kill this. And then, where's my like utils or whatever? I guess that's in core or something. No? Yes. All right, let's do, get collider min, get collider max, find closest by direction, scene view mouse to world, interesting. World to canvas position. Okay. Like 3D to 2D mapping and vice versa. Get game world 2D point from, or position 3D to game world 2D point, something like that. Position camera 3D from camera 3D to game world 2D point. That sounds dumb, but whatever. And then we'll have the vector 3 of the 3D point, point from 3D, point 3D. It's going to return vector 2 in game world, and where is it? Where did I put it? This one. Okay. Now I can do game camera 3D get. Is that not public? Oh, that's static. Okay. Cam. Do that, and then this is just point 3D. Okay, I don't need the world to camera matrix. Game world position 2D and return game world position 2D. There we go. All good. And that'll be a point. And what I can do, I want to create, I guess it doesn't matter. Creating the 2D destructible will need me to make a specifically sized bounding box. So I'll probably need, I can probably attach a collider to it. Yeah. I'll require component. How's that? Like this, right? Component. Above. So then I want to make all those points as well. Or I can just make it the correct size and just attach it, like copy it. Can I copy a component? I don't think I ever did that. Get component. No, they don't have like a copy mechanism for it, but that's okay. Let's see. It'll be on the default layer, so that's whatever. Game object. Game world object 2D. Transform position equals my actual the util function utils dot position from camera 3D to game world 2D point. My position. Does destructible have anything in awake that would compromise this? Let's say destructible is game world object 2. Game world add component destructible. Let's see, does it have anything in awake? Well, I guess that doesn't matter because it's just as soon as I add the component, awake gets called on it. Let's see, renderer. Are those things like required? Rend, if invincible, it assumes I have a renderer, a sprite renderer. I guess I can put one on there and it just won't have a sprite. So I want to constantly be checking rend is null. Well, here it checks it. So sure, I can just do that every time, and it's just right here. Anyway, it's just one line. Rend, and that's pretty much it anyway. Okay. Okay, not too bad. And also, what was the other one? Ship. If ship and ship has player, ship and ship has player, that's a check. If is player ship, then ship is valid anyway, so I'll have to check it. Not alive, ship does not equal null. Kill register object. Kill register. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so that's all good. So then I've got my create 2D destructible done. It's at that position. It will need, does destructible requires a rigid body, so that's going to auto attach. what I need to do is make sure that the rigid body gets set, has its properties set to like kinematic and all that stuff. If I do this, is it just gonna auto attach it? Let's try it. Okay, we got our new game object that got created. It does not have a destructible on it. Okay, alright. We'll get there. I'm gonna assume that this is the one that got created. And this isn't getting hit at all. Null reference exception. Nice. What? What's not set? Oh. In here? Or what? In utils. Oh, game camera 3D.get. Probably because I didn't put game camera 3D on the camera. Nice. Okay. Oh, let me. Oh god. Okay, undo that. I'm gonna go in here, attach it from in here. Okay. All good there. So now we should be hitting that line, and we didn't. The variable cam of game camera has not been assigned. Of course it hasn't, because I forget to do everything. Cam equals component camera, and why not require a component here? For the hell of that, type of camera, and that's it, I guess. Okay, now we're doing it. So we should have an object that has a destructible that did auto attach a rigid body, but it's not set up correctly. Okay. Time to turn on Janus 2. What the hell is Janus 2? MPC Live 2. I'm still confused. I have no idea what you're talking about. Alright, we're going to want to update the rigid body. Body is 2D, get component, that's going to be there. What? Okay. Note this component is auto added by Kai Pro MPC Live 2. Is auto added by. So rigid body type, body type, kinematic, and I think the only other thing I do is set collision detection to continuous. Collision detection mode continuous. So I mean, if it's auto added, I could just update that, but it's just not gonna be necessary because I'm probably manually setting that anyway on everything. Let's see where this link goes. Let's see what you got me into here. Oh, got it. Nice. Nice, nice. That is pretty cool. Use that for making beats. Alright, so that's set up now. Now I gotta give it a box collider. Well, it's required, but didn't get auto added to this guy. Oh wait, yes it did, there it is. So, one way to do this, and she's better than my entire studio. Man, okay, so his box collider is roughly that size, but that's... It's gigantic. But what I'd like to do... What I'd like to do... is basically just copy it over. If I can just copy it, right? Can I instantiate? Can I instantiate anything, or does it have to be close the object original and returns the clone? But I don't think that works for the box collider. Let's find out. Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna work. No. So we'll just say box collider 2D. Collider is, first let's grab my collider. And then the new collider is gotta go move your car. Alrighty, dude. Yeah. You don't want that shit towed, I'm guessing. So I'm gonna go my collider. No, that doesn't make any sense. This is getting the box collider. Like that, and then this is add game world object 2D, add component. Come on, come on. Where's my fingers? That, and then collider dot. How can I set this? Bounds? No, that's world space. That's a get only. Where is it? Edge radius. So it's offset and size. Offset is my collider offset. Size is my collider size. Unless I can do, I can grab the world space coordinates. Grab the world space coordinates. I can get the 2D space coordinates from the bounds of the collider. Compare that to the actual 3D points, the bounds of the collider. The difference between the two, that should give me some kind of a scale. And then I can just scale the offset and size based off that. Something like that. Hold on, let's see if that's simple enough. Right, so point top left is my collider bounds, because it's the real world space bounds. The top Or I could just do the min and the max. Yeah. Not collider min. Or just do vector 2. Or, yeah, I need that. Bounds dot min. Not collider max. Max. And then we're going to do something like convert both the 2D. My collider min 2D. Utils the position camera to 2D. My collider min. Do the same thing for max. Now what I could do is get the distance between the two. Something like that. I'm sure there's these min and max. That actually returns a vector 3. Sure. My collider distance is my collider vector 3 dot distance. My collider min, my collider max. And distance in 2D. My collider, sorry, vector 2 distance. My collider min 2D, my collider max 2D. And then the ratio is just dist 2D over dist ration. Okay, and then we'll do just offset times ratio and size times ratio. And something like that might actually work. Okay, so we have a game object now here, and it has a collider that is extremely tiny. What does the ratio end up being? Okay, 0.27. Can I just update a collider based on, I mean, again, I should be able to calculate the offset actually. Right, if I have the min 2D and the max 2D, what are they, by the way? 5.9, 6.63. Sounds about right. So let's just see if we can make the collider based off of that without doing this distance ratio thing. This is just kind of weird. So the offset is just the center of the bounding box, right, from the actual position of the object. Right, offset is my collider min 2D, or no, the center point between those two is the difference plus the min, half the difference plus the min. So that would be size 2D is just my collider max 2D minus my collider min 2D, and then offset. I can't subtract vector 2s. Oh, right, that creates a. Nice. And the offset is my collider min. No. The offset is the size minus the min Why is my brain not working right now? The actual positions don't tell me anything. What kind of? Right? So if I have some position, and then some box here, here's the min, here's the max, here's the position. Sorry, I'm drawing this on paper. Then the center point, oh right, the center point of the collider. That's really what I want. And the offset is just its difference from the actual position. And the center point is just my collider min plus size 2D half getting there. My collider min 2D, right, plus half the size, and then all that subtracted from game world. Vector 2, oh right, that is a vector, this returns a vector 2, right? Position 2D is this guy, is position 2D, okay, position 2D, maybe if I would spell the variable right here, okay, minus position 2D, here, and then I don't need these ratios, I literally just have my calculated offset, and my calculated size 2D. And then this can just be here. And this can go away. All right, so that's not bad. If I'm not mistaken, that should produce a very close to correct collider. All right, let's see what we got here. Look at that. There it is. Exactly the right size. Okay. Copied from kind of this collider. Nice, alrighty. So as long as we have a box collider, we can reproduce it on the other end. Good stuff, alright. Now the plan. Instead of this guy having the tag, the other guy needs the tag, and then I can update this guy to be untagged. So, let's see, create a box collider, based on my box box collider. Here's just adding necessary. Add necessary options. Add necessary components. Or I'm probably just gonna do the destructible. Set up destructible. Or whatever. I'll just do this. Set up the rigid body. Here, set up the object. Set up the base object. So what we're gonna do here is game will allow to get tag equals my tag, and then will now equal tag. What is it? Game object like tag. Find game object to find with tag. There was like a tag to string or string to tag. Something like that, no? I mean, tag is just a string, right? So I can literally update it to nothing. Unless we get an error saying it's like not a valid tag. I just be untagged. What is this? Man, go away. The auth token expired. Thank you. God, okay. Seriously? That's not the password. So what's I gonna deal with this right now? Enter the code to your email address. Nice. I can close this window and continue in your app. Can I? Come on. Okay, got it. No, go away. I did this. Oh man. It says I'm signed in, but this window just won't go away. Okay, thank you, finally. Alright, where was I? There's a lot of changes I haven't checked in yet. So what I can actually do is just put a destructible on this guy and then remove the components later. Well, I can't actually remove the components because they'll be required or something, right? I can't do that unless it's allowed at runtime. Let's see really quick if this thing gets tagged. Okay, and my tag is untagged. Good stuff. So now what should happen is this new game object in the scene. Its position is here and 1 point something, right? And that is where the missile should, like somewhere on this guy's feet is where the missile should end up targeting. What? Oh, I bumped into it. Did I just destroy it? I destroyed it because it has a stupid destructible and I bumped into it. What's the property on a destructible? Like I could just make it invincible or something. I can layer these things. I can make it so they can only collide if they're on the same Z position or something. That could be interesting. Where is this 3D render texture at? It's at Z position 0. Because it doesn't have to be though. Right, since it's technically behind some of these guys. I can move it back some. Like right there. Because this background, right, they all have specific Z positions. 3.19. My DJ table will be here soon. Did you order one online? Is that what you're referring to, I guess? 3.19, 2.54, 3.79. So I can easily make this background like 3.5. Either that or do like it would be better for the physics engine to not even register these collisions. Since that's built into Unity. Or I could register them all. And then have the flexibility. Has overrides? No overrides. Oh, layer default. Right, so I can make a few layers. Background. So that only background can do background. Is the background in the layer in the background layer? It's not. Yeah, we could try that. So let's see, how is the collision set up? Is that under project settings? Here we go. Okay, we'll just say that background, nothing collides with 3D effects directly. Right, 3D effects should collide with nothing. Default should collide with background. No, it shouldn't. Ceiling, wall, ground, and default, and then background should only collide with background. Ground collides with ceiling. All these three guys collide with each other. And that's it. Yep, and that seems fine. Okay. So then what I can do is just, when that other missile gets spawned, this background missile, where is my background missile? It's in like test, isn't it? No? Where did I put this stuff? Let's just find it here. Missile in background, edit prefab, boss missile in background. Where is that? I got it. Spawnables, boss missile in background. Okay, so I'll just take this guy here, put him on the background layer, done. And then make sure that this thing, when it gets spawned, is on the background layer. Background. So let's see. game world object 2D dot layer, layer mass, name to layer. So what does this guy do in the game? It's basically going to be a giant boss robot that's in the background and able to attack you from the background by firing missiles or shooting laser beams and other crazy shit that we'll get into later. So one thing I need to do actually is move him a little further back. There we go. Let's move him up a little bit so we can actually see the guy. This might be a more realistic image. Okay. So I shouldn't collide with wherever the collider is. Let's make sure it got created correctly again. There it is. And it should correctly map onto this guy, more or less. It's kind of difficult to tell. I can put it at the same Z position as the 3D render texture. Something like that. Because that's where it's supposed to be. Which I can get through the 3D camera, right? Because 3D camera has, no? Targeting texture, low res 3D render texture. Okay, no. I'll need to actually access this thing manually. I can make another script for that, I suppose. Let's do that. Or I could just grab it by the 3D camera right away in the beginning. Alright, so on top of having the cam, it's got the public. It's not really the render texture, this is really just the image, so I'll just make this a game object. The render texture object. And the render texture object is 3D render texture. Game object find 3D render texture. 3D render texture. Okay. And now when I go ahead and create this thing, let's see, vector 3 position is position 2D, vector 3 position 2D.x, position 2D.y, and camera, so we camera, game camera 3D render. Get it first, and then render texture object transform position Z. Cool. And actually, what I can just do is say screw that, right? And this is actually game world position. And that's a vector 3, and have this thing return a vector 3, and just set game world position, right? Game world position, and then I'll do that. Game world position dot Z is this. Do you copyright the music and the game together? It's a good question. I would say no, intuitively. That's like my intuition, I guess. But I'm not sure. You have to look up some intellectual property law for that. I would imagine the game and the assets for the game are separate. Don't want someone to steal my music. Yeah. Hell yeah, you don't. To game world 2D points, it's not really a 2D point anymore. So I can actually also rename this thing. It's just game world point. Position from camera 3D to game world point. Alright, okay. And transform to position is just game world position. Game world position. And then some new vector 2 that happens to be game world position dot x and game world position dot y. Did they have a property for that? Game world xy. Man, I don't know why they don't do that. Besides our exciting, I wonder how do we advertise our game well besides our exciting game dev streams? Yeah, I mean you can hire an advertising company, maybe. I'm sure that's not cheap. Or an artist to make some marketing material. Go on Twitter. There's a pretty decent game dev community on Twitter. It's not always easy for everybody to see your shit though. Parentheses can be removed. What? Oh, right, but I don't want to. Like, leave me alone about this. Show potential fixes? Yeah, ignore it. Remove unnecessary, introduce local. Ignore suggestions like this, thank you. Or partner with someone that, yeah, exactly. Or find a publisher, honestly. You can do that too. You can, you know, create a pitch it to some publishers. If they like it, they will, if the game's done, then the only thing they have to fund you for is the marketing, and they'll probably do the work of that as well. That's, a lot of publishers make that their job, from my understanding. So if they're already established, then they have exactly what it takes to do something like that. And if your game's not done, but your demo's really fucking good from their opinion, they will also probably fund you to make the rest of it. But then they'll want a bigger cut, naturally. Alright, what was I just testing though? Oh, right, because I wanted this guy to be the same Z position now. It looks like it is, okay. What is up with the positioning of this thing? It's not lined up. That is not correct at all. Shouldn't it be something like this instead? I mean, I don't know. Let's look at it in 2D. You know, can I undo? Why is it off to the left? getting funding is very rare unless you are well connected in the industry. Why? Why wouldn't you just? Why can't you just pitch your game to a ton of publishers that you like? The only way that wouldn't work then is, I mean, that would be some validation that a lot of people don't like your game. But if you're talking about funding, like, yeah, exactly, right? For something like that, you have to have a lot built already, for sure. Like, they're not just going to publish you, they're not just going to fund you with an idea. Of course not. Why is the offset? Oh, now it's not. Well, what the balls? Why was it broken that one time? There it is, in the correct spot. Okay. So what's the deal? Why am I so far away from... Why is this in these... Oh, okay. That's just other shit that's way back there. Alright. Okay, so now the collider's in the correct position. Where are we? There it is. Okay. So there's our 2D collider on our 2D guy. So I'm thinking that now, and I shouldn't collide with it because I'm on a different layer, right? And I don't, but this missile, when it goes back into the background, should collide with it. Best thing to do is have a complete game. Doesn't have to be completely complete, I think. Oh shit, I messed that up. But something that might reflect the final product. Let's see where it goes. Where the hell did it go? Oh, there it is. I just can't see it. Why is it? I mean, it's here. It's going to what seems to be the correct position. Why can I not see this thing though? Oh, because it's on the background layer? Can my camera not see the background layer? If it couldn't. Can my main camera not see the background layer? It can't. So let's also see the background layer. There it is. Okay, now it's just kind of digging around here. And that's exactly where it's supposed to be though. You just need to learn how to do social media. Yeah, Septo's big. He's very knowledgeable in that sense. It's kind of his thing. So I'm sure if you pay him, he'll pitch your game all day. Let's see. I was thinking it would collide. Growth Hacker, big crypto company, dude. Huge. Since we almost got this thing working. Alright, so I have a destructible here that's in the background there. That is this thing. Even if I pay someone how to know Joe from Mark, and to who's gonna take my money and do nothing over who's gonna help. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you gotta make mistakes. Yeah. I feel you, man. So these things just aren't colliding. Does this thing even have a collider? It doesn't. It doesn't even have physics, of course. Of course. It does have a box collider. Why doesn't it have one later? Wait, did I click on the right thing? Alright, let's spawn it again. Oh god, of course. Let's go here. Damn it. Should really make the minigame easier for testing. Okay, off it goes. Spawns the other missile somewhere. Oh, again, I forgot to do this camera thing. Let's see the background. There we go. Oh, God. Damn it, that wasn't your DJ table? Your old one just stopped working. Just some random Amazon order. Okay, come back in. So we're going to collide. It does have, the missile in background does have a box collider. It should probably be a trigger. And then this thing just needs to know when it's getting collided with, which I'm pretty sure it knows here. Oh, but this is boss 1, which is this guy, not this new game object. But still, okay, this is destructible. Just has like, do you take over the missile and it attacks the boss? Precisely, yeah. So destructible should have like an on, nothing. It doesn't have on trigger enter. It does. Okay. So let's see, if we're not enabled to return, if we're not invincible, did we get hit by a bullet? Did we get hit by another destructible? So that's the plan. So that means that this guy needs to be a trigger, and it needs to be a destructible or a bullet. I can make it a bullet instead, but all right, let's say let's give it an explosion. Okay, that doesn't work for some reason. Where are my effects? Explosion number 2. Yo, what's going on, man? Bullets and effects, explosions. Doing some Super Sky Hero, bro. Okay, let's get the explosion sound. Which one was it? Explosion 1, explosion 2. Gonna go with explosion 2. And then that should be enough. Collision damage, let's do 100. 1,000, screw it. Right. So now, layer on break, nice. Yeah, I'm about to take a break myself. Alright, there it goes. There goes the missile. It's gonna go off and then come back in. And then it should collide. And it didn't. It didn't, for whatever reason. For whatever reason. It actually has a rigid body. Oh, right. Kinematic. Continuous. Yes, simulated. Yes, you're a trigger. And that should be good enough to make these things collide. Maybe it's the damage type, destructible. They should be able to collide with each other. If it is destructible, is it a ship? And does the ship have the player? And this is a type enemy? Okay. Otherwise, okay. Or is the type enemy that I'm hitting, and this is the player or the player's ship? Then do a hit. Or if they're both in the background, they just hit each other. Like everything in the background just hits each other. Something like that. Let's try that for now. Else if e.layer, let's do background layer. Background layer is layer mask. Name to layer background. So if d.nameObject layer is background layer, or and my game object layer is also background layer, then you got hit and hit self. Hit with physical hit damage, and then hit myself with d.physical hit damage. So we hit each other. So let's see if we can get that going here. Let's put a breakpoint just in case. Let's put a breakpoint here just in case. See how that goes. Alright, let's do this again. Okay, of course that happened. Can I put a breakpoint back? Ah, damn it. Wrong button. Come back, put breakpoint back, and then press this button. Alright. There, jump back out, and of course, continue there. And there it goes. Come back in. Crash. There it is. Okay. And we're good. And we hit and it blew up. Let's see that again in action. Don't need these breakpoints anymore. Alright, hop off. There goes the rocket. The missile comes back in. Bang. Alright, that looked pretty decent. It's all gonna get cleaned up, but yeah, that was looking pretty good. Alright. That pretty much does it for what I wanted to get done today, though. Did I not? Where's my to-do.txt? An error. Miscellaneous files. The data is necessary to complete the operation is not yet available. What the hell does that mean? Should be right here. Alright, map 3D space to 2D space. Done. Make a box collider so that the missile can collide with it. Done. Now I gotta bother other people. Yeah, man. You can come bother me later, man, when I'm playing Final Fantasy VII. I'll be on for a couple hours later. Just gotta get some chores done first. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. It's been a blast, as always. Yeah, I don't know when my PC will be back, so... Shit. Yeah, I just gotta work out that positioning thing. Like, it's gotta be in a different position, but... Oh, there was no pun intended. I just see. I see what you did there. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll catch you later, guys.